All right. So, hello, YouTube and everyone here. My name is Jared. I am 25 years old. Um, I have a beautiful wife and dog, and I work in IT. Um, I live in the U.S. in the state of Texas, and I've been part of the hosting these talk and talk immersions for about half this year, and having a great time. So. Diego, would you like to go next with the introduction?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I'm Diego. I'm from Brazil. I live in Sergipe, the smallest state in the country. I live in the capital, Aracaju, but I was born in Bahia. I don't know if you know what Bahia is, but I was born in Bahia, and I'm married. I am 34 years old. I don't have kids. I have pets, a dog and a cat, and I I'm graduated. I have a degree in engineering, but I work as a media buyer. I don't know if you know what media buyer does, but I work with digital marketing, and this is it.
Thank you, Diego. Edwina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I'm Eduino. I'm 30 years old. I was born and raised in Luanda, capital city of Angola, but I have been living in Brazil since 2014, almost 11 years living in Brazil. In Brazil, I live in Thoth, in Rio Grande do Sul. My city is called São Leopoldo, it's 30 minutes away to Porto Alegre, capital. I'm here in Talk since July 2024, and currently I'm working as a software developer remotely to a company in São Paulo. And in my free time, I enjoy reading book, watching football on TV. And yeah, I think that's it. Nice to meet you all, guys.
Thank you, Edwina. Marcelo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Good evening, guys. My name is Marcelo. I live in Rio. I am 65. I am an entrepreneur. I run businesses here. I have actually four businesses, four different kinds of businesses here. I have two kids. I am married. I live in Rio. I've told you. Well, my kids, they are entrepreneurs also. They are 29 and 30. They have their own businesses also. Here at home, I have pets also, as you. In my free time, well, I hate to say that, but I free time is something that sometimes I don't have. In my free time, I usually work, and of course, I have some leisure also, like watching movies and something that I didn't tell you that I am also an actor. I've been in the dubbing industry for so many years, more than 20 years, and I've returned it last 2023. And so every week I dub movies and cartoons here in some studios. I've been in some some so many movies and cartoons and characters. And this is a leisure actually for me now. And that's it, guys. Let's go to the questions.
Thank you, Marcelo. Yeah, we got. I'll post the questions in the chat for everyone to look at them for reference. All right. Well, this topic is about overall about communication and like how and the way communities are formed in the internet and how people feel connected or disconnected with people. Because with the internet, you don't see people face to face a lot of times unless you're on Zoom. Um, and it's about just overall like how what are people more comfortable saying nastier things or on the internet or because there's no you don't usually have to say who you are. You can just go as a random name on the internet. But that's overall what the topic's about. And you know start this the questions. I would First question is, do the sheer volume of digital connections, followers, contacts dilute the meaningfulness of close face-to-face relationships? Can a truly deep connection be maintained primarily through screen? Um, it can be maintained, speaking from experience, but it is very challenging. Um, for example, I'll share that I I started talking to my partner, and when we were online, we were just it was during COVID pandemic, and we were all locked down. So I at first we were friends, just chatting, and over time, we there a relationship developed to like when we saw each other in person, we became a full relationship, and then eventually got married. But everything most of the time up until maybe like the last year, it was through online talking and doing trips and playing them out together. So um, it's a challenge to convey um, like what's going on each side of the world when over a screen things are this other person's not present, they can't understand it as much. So you have to be very careful how you talk about it. Um, and yet it takes a lot of practice communicating to form that deep connection. So but with in the case of sheer volume of digital connections and people with thousands or 10,000 followers, it can it starts to look more like just a number than actual, real, authentic relationships and friendships. Um, uh, it's it, we don't have the time of the day to talk to every single person and check on how everyone's doing. If someone got the only time you really catch up is like when they're getting married or someone had lost a loved one or they got like a dog or cat. Those are usually when you get updated, but like you don't have those a lot of those times you don't just go out, spend time with them, like or you go travel across the US or through the states or across to a different country to usually see them. And it it can be just a number in the end. So that's my take on it. Diego, would you like to talk about it?
But I didn't understand the question. What the question is?
Oh, it's like the question is basically asking is
Oh,
like
the chat was closed. Is
the
the first question? Yes.
yes, first question, do the sheer volume of digital connections, followers, contacts dilute the meaningfulness of close face-to-face relationships? So, do you have any
Well, it's difficult to answer because it can be it's so individual, I think. But for me, having a relation through the screens, it's not enough to maintain this connection. because the people can fake it, your personality. I think when you are face to face, when you look at look at the other in the eyes, you can see the truth. But so I think it's not possible have deep connections through the screen.
Thank you, Thiago. Marcelo, would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, of course. It's like having 100 friends or 1,000 friends. I have friends that when they got married at the party, they invited 100 people. 500 people. Come on, you don't have 500 friends. It's impossible. I think that friends we can count in two hands is the maximum. And it's about quality versus quantity. I think that's the question. I think it's different from the old time when we had Orkut or the old ways to communicate. Nowadays, I think they want to sell something, or they want to sell their personalities, or they want to receive money or likes, or I don't know. And that's nothing about a friendship. I think it's different from this sheer volume, this amount of this quantity of contacts, followers, a lot of people. You don't know these people. It's so different from a real friendship. But in the other hand, you can have a friendship through the screen. It's possible, as Jared have said that during the pandemic, you could make friends through the internet. It's more related to be close to that person and to the empathy that you have to that person when you connect, when you share values. It's totally different from Instagram and other social medias. Of course, deep connection through sheer volume is impossible. Of course not. That's my answer, Jared.
Thank you, Marcel. And I build off what you said. I've noticed that there are people that it's like followers are transactional. Like if you reach, they say something like, "Oh, well, if you reach a certain number of followers, then I don't know, you throw a party or something like that." And it's like it's just you're just building up a number that on a screen, and it could be real people, it could be fake bots, it could be scammers, it could be all these people that who are followed, but they're not truly friends. Some could be. There might be some good friends, maybe some family members that are following, but when you get to those sheer like sizes, they're like almost in the millions. It's like at that point, what is the point? You're just it's like you're just pressing a button trying to get another number and keep doing it over and over again. Yeah. Hiduino, would you like to cover do you have anything to say about the first question?
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. I believe that numbers of digital connections definitely makes our relationships feel less painful, because I believe that real relationships needs attention, needs time, needs emotional presence. These things don't always uh, translate it through the screen, you know. But I also agree with you when you said connection can be maintained online, especially when we communicate to other person openly and regularly. For example, I have many friends who live far away from me, and we stay close through video call, voice messages. But even we don't say a physical presence, but sometimes we meet in person. Yes, but I still believe that face-to-face moments is the best way to strengthen relationship because allow us to body language, for example, eye contact. We can share experiences, which makes our bonds, our relationship very stronger. Yeah, but it's possible to maintain the relation even we stay far away. Yeah.
I agree. And you can maintain friends and a relationship. You know, sometimes though, if you go too long just over screens, when you see them in person, it almost becomes like awkward because it's like you just known them for their like hearing their voice. You maybe saw them like on a blurry video call, but to see them, how they, their body language, their everything, you see a lot more details of your environment. It's like, okay, well, it's like people get really uncomfortable in that situation, and some people prefer to just have that online experience. For example, I one of my brothers, uh, a lot of his friends are online, and he plays games with them and talks to them, but they never actually meet up in person. They just have fun online, and that's all they ever do. So, but I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Like, you don't have if they don't want to, just go to a place, go to a bar or just go to a movie theater or do whatever they want. That's up to them. It's their friendships, their bond. They can decide what they want, but some people prefer different things. Some people prefer just to be in person. Some people just prefer to be online. But they're all valid friendships. Um, so his next question is the constant availability demanded by instant messaging and notifications eroding our ability to focus, reflect, and enjoy solitude? How do you personally manage digital burnout? I've seen this happen, with myself and with my own my father. Um, I was at a point in time when I was working so much and I was getting messages and phone calls all the time, and it's really hard to keep up. And I have things to do, and there are all these messages and phone calls. They're very important in different ways. Um, and but it's just it can cause a digital burnout to you know constantly being like notified every moment of your day just on something. And in my case of my father, he he's a very busy person these days, and he's going around place to place. Uh, has a hard time, taking a moment of silence. He talks to a lot of people. He's like a salesperson, um, and and sometimes he has to talk to people, shake their hands, and gets very busy, and gets messages all the time from a lot of people on social media. But it's he doesn't get that much time for solitude, and it does. I can see him being burned out from that as well. So I tried to urge him to go on like some sort of vacation to take a break, but yeah, it was hard. So Diego, would you like to answer the second question?
Yes, this constant availability demanded by the instant message. I think I understand the question. It's I don't remember the word I want to use is to harm. I think this availability of informations and notifications is harming the capability of focus. Can you understand me? My nephews, I have nephews. My wife used to be a teacher, and I can see how it is uh, harming the kids primarily, because they can't focus for 5 minutes. They need every time to be to have new things. If you put they to watch a 5 minutes video, they can't complete it, because they need other video, and they cannot be alone for a moment. They can't support solitude. My nephew, if he is doing nothing, he becomes crazy. And it's because the how the world works today.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happened. But I mean, it's not through my family, but people externally. I've seen that they with those constant uh like there's stimulus being like against constant stimulus from like various things like pop-ups, notifications, calls, people playing games. They it does make it hard to focus more than a few minutes. And there's now with the popularity of these short form videos, like now it's like 30 seconds, and they can only get their attention span for like 30 seconds, and they can't go any more than that, or else it's like they get sleepy or they get tired of it. It's just it has become a common problem, and I noticed that uh, through the education systems and people people are not staying focused in the class, so that has constantly been a problem. I can understand that. Marcelo, what do you think of it?
Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna comment about. I'm gonna comment on two situations that I think about this kind of question. First of all, is the instant message like WhatsApp. I think we have few time to digest, to chew the answer. I think they are in a hurry, such a hurry that when they ask you something in a few seconds, if you don't answer that question, they start with exclamation marks, and they are always demanding you an answer. And this is the first problem that I can see here is the lack of digestion of the answer. The you have to chew the answer. You have to think about the answer, and they are demanding you so heavily that you have to answer something that you couldn't think about. That this is the first question that I want to comment on. But the second is about this kind of burnout, digital burnout. Well, I don't believe in digital burnout. I think we can stand everything. We are adaptable human beings, and why do I say that? Because I've lived it in other moments, and we didn't have these kind of connections. I've started with computing in the 70s, so it was so different. When the internet arrived, I was 35 years old. So come on, No problem. I can deal with that. And I am so connected. I can deal with WhatsApp and Instagram and email and phone calls also, but they still are here. Can I don't know if you believe me, but they still here phone calls, and we can deal with that. I think we can manage. I think that's the way we live now. We are adaptable people, and I don't believe in this kind of they created that name burnout. Everything is burnout. Burnout is to be tired. You go to bed, you sleep, and you wake up in another moment, and you feel good again. So that's it, guys. Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next answer.
Thank you, Marcelo. Well, what do you think, Edwino?
Yes, that's a good question. Definitely. I think a constant availability definitely hurts our folks, as Tiago said before. Sometimes in our life, we want to only stay in our corner alone with our thoughts, you know. We want a quiet moment that we need to reflect, to rest, to simply enjoy our solitude. But when we stay constant availability, it's impossible because notifications make us feels like we need to respond immediately, even when it's not urgent. When, for example, when we take our cell phone and we jump one message to another, it makes it harder to stay focused, to stay concentrate, to stay present. Yeah, it can cause digital burnout. Yeah. To avoid that, I try to set small boundaries for myself. For example, like turn off as non-essential notifications, for example, especially from the social media, or I set a specific time to offline break, for example, especially when I'm working, I need to finish some tasks. Yeah, I turn off my phone, or when I want to just just relaxing. Yeah, I keep my phone away from me. Yeah, these small habits help me to recharge my energy, especially my mind, because as a software developers, we pass a lot of time sitting in front of the computer, for example, using our mind a lot of time. We need sometimes to rest, to recharge, you know. Yeah, and it make me feel that I'm in control of my time. Yeah. For example, sometime I want to go on YouTube just for watching one video. I end up scrolling endless posts, take off my time. Yeah, we need to take care about how the way we are using our cell phone or our phone if we want to stay focused. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. In the I think that what tends to happen is that people um, either doom scroll or like you said, like they scroll like endlessly, or get they get trapped into this like all these algorithm videos or just all these recommendations, and it just piques your interest. You know, like, you want to watch this, and then there's another thing you want to watch, and it just happens over and over again. So I think what happens is that people may have some difficulty um, time management too, because like they think, okay, I'll just like you said, like just watch one video or just one thing, but it's get trapped into watching all these other things, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later, and you're supposed to be like studying for for exam, or you got you had to do something else more. You got to go to appointments or go somewhere. So it's like you had it's I think it's a mix of both some people having not knowing how to manage their time, and also there are just a lot of distractions that pop up all the time. That are they companies put a lot of money into making sure that it's uh, everything fits into this algorithm that gets your attention. They have psychologists. They have data scientists. They got they got all sorts of studies and research on how on different trends, and they track so much information that they know what personally gets someone's attention. It can be a trap. So yeah. So the next question here is digital platforms allow niche communities to thrive, but they also foster echo chambers, which affect you feel is currently more dominant in shaping public discourse, and what is the cost of this trend? Um, I think you know when I was younger, uh, things were people were talking, and I think you could hear different sides of people's arguments. But nowadays, I think things are more polarized, and people have been trapped in their echo chambers where they're all agreeing with each other on what is the right thing, but they don't hear the other side of what other people's opinion. Um, and it's because the way social media tends to be is that you like something or you dislike it, and some people just feel have strong opinions on their own values, so um, that it could push out any other opinion, and anyone who has a different opinion will go somewhere else to a different platform, and it's just eventually you just have these just bubbles of just of people who just have the same opinion. And if no one ever goes to each other to talk, or else they're kicked out. So it tends to be, I, and I think it can also be fed. Like there's a term called rage bait, where it's like you you get something and you come up with this narrative that may not be real, or it's just to get people to click on it. It gets people upset, and they'll click on it, and they'll read on it, they'll study it, but maybe it was blown out of proportions, or maybe it's not as extreme, uh, or maybe it wasn't even real at all. But um, that but people things on the internet are based off of what makes people angry, what makes people scared, um, what fits in people's own ideologies, and that's what's personally have been the that's the current feel of what the public discourse and how people uh, that's what's been happening today. So, Tiago, what do you have to say about
Yeah, I think this is a big problem that we need to learn to deal with it. At the same time that you create communities, which is good, you separate people because you create bubbles. And here in Brazil, specifically, we are living through we are passing through a moment in a very difficult time in relation to this. We are become increasingly intolerant, and I think it's because these echo chambers, you only hear people that say what you want to hear, and it becomes a I forgot the word, but it's a problem that we have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah, you're right. People need to learn how to deal with it, and it can be hard. I can understand it can be very difficult to, take a step into understanding what other people are trying to say, because or maybe it just you have to search um to really search real hard to find that, like, that unfiltered or um authentic, like what people are trying to say, because there's things that are spread around, misinformation gets spread around all the time, and it's hard to navigate the internet these days and finding what's actually going on. Yeah. So yeah, it's very difficult. Priscilla, what do you think?
Uh, well, some things that I can say about that. I think as you've said, nowadays people are so Manichaean, so two sides, only two poles. I don't know why it's happening now, because we can. There are a lot of shades between black and white, so you don't have to be black or white. You can be gray. You can have other color. But when you talk about this kind of niches, you can say about tribes. We have a lot of tribes, and I think tribes are something that can make this kind of shadow between colors, between black and white. Also, tribes, I think it's a good thing because we have people from different sizes and moods and behaviors, and this is something that is so nice. But these kinds of echo chambers that are fostered by the social media, they tend to go to these kind of two poles. They have to 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 insert you in one of these poles. You have to be black or white or yes or no, like a binary system, not a analog system. We are analog people. We have 10 fingers. We don't have 2 fingers. We live in the technology world, and we know that the binary is so precise. That's why they use binary 0 and 1, because if not, we couldn't have this kind of precision among computers. Uh, but I don't think that is something that is made by the people itself. I think there is a tendency that someone is wanting to rule our minds. So they show you some kinds of preference, and you have to be in this boat or in that boat. So I think this is all of that is about money. So that's the question. So we have to be aware of that. We have to use the social media in another way. I think public discourse is something today that it's very difficult for you to discuss, to talk, to show your ideas, to disagree. It's impossible for you to disagree today. We are losing this kind of the Platonic way to deal with questions. So this is something so boring for the humanity. That's what I think about that. And social media is leading us to this kind of problem.
Yeah, you're right, Marcel, and I think that happens is that, yeah, it's just companies, I think, just make money of getting people to look and view at manufactured problems, manufactured hate. They get them into, uh, into their websites, on their apps, and their own news sites, and it's people are just getting more and more polarized because companies are just abusing people's own views and political systems and to get them into this state uh, where there's constantly angry or like I said earlier, doom scrolling where you constantly show things that make it seem like the world's a really, really bad spot or where you're living's a really bad spot. So you keep scrolling and scrolling and wasting time and it I think that definitely needs to be fixed. So what do you think, Edwino?
Yeah, I think, let me see, it's great when people can find niche communities, when people feels understood in specific communities. It's great. But in other hand, I feel like social media algorithm always push you into space where everyone's think the same way. It creates a bubble, as Tiago said before, where our opinion is never challenged. We rarely hear different perspective. As a result, the conversation becomes more polarized and it becomes harder to understand or empathize with people who see the words differently compared to us. The cost of this trend is we have divided society when people only hear the ideas that match with their beliefs. They become more closed-minded, and more in defensive. When other person talk one idea different for their beliefs, people stay more defensive, and it feels like everyone is talking, but few people are truly listening. This makes collaboration, problem solving very difficult in this context. Yeah, for that reason, we need to be open-minded. Extend our communities. Be very uh, willing to seeking for another perspectives, another point of views. It's very important even to grow as a person, very, very important. That's a good question.
Thank you, Edwino. And I think it's very important about what you said about people need to be challenged. It's okay to be challenged. Like, no, we're not right 100% of the time. Uh, I know we would like to think that we're right, but not everything is right. All views like are are perfectly logical or are fit in the right moment. So having that being challenged into seeing other people's perspectives is helps us grow together instead of just I like I feel like it just puts us in just and stagnates us into and we don't continue to grow as people as a community or a society. We don't challenge ourselves. Well, that concludes those questions. I would like to ask each of you what you all thought about the topic today. Starting with you, Tiago. What do you think about the overall topic? And yeah,
It's great. It's difficult for me to talk about this topic because I never talked about it before, and I had to think a lot of to search the right words. But I'm okay with it. It's my second day here, and I'm trying to to be more fluent and I know it's a process, but the content it's okay. It's great to 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 think about it discuss about it.
you, Thiago. Marcelo, what do you think about the overall
Okay,
topic today?
Jared, as always, it's nice to be with you. The questions are so interesting, makes us think about a lot of questions, a lot of questions. Not only the language, but it's so interesting here. And being with you, Irwino and Diego, nice to be welcome here, Diego. It's your second day. Okay. That's it. It's awesome as always, Jared, to be with you, to be with these guys here at the last but the least, the least but the last.
Well, I thank you for coming back, Marcelo. It's always a pleasure having you and everyone here to be uh, here in the immersion and talking. And would you like to say about this whole topic?
Yeah, I appreciate that. The paradox of modern digital communication answer is a good topic. It's remind me in Brazilian society a few years ago when we had in election times, the Brazilian society was really divided. Yes, each one in their corner with specific mind, thoughts. Yeah, it was not good to see in some ways because yeah, people was really extreme, yeah, because I think that it's really good topics to to meditate. We have our own beliefs, you know, religious beliefs, politics, philosophical, or whatever, but we need to stay open-minded, willing to seek more knowledge to understand other people, you know. So if you are a Christian, you need to understand Muslim people, for example. Yeah. If you're yellow, you can be willing to understand the red people. Yes, regarding to the flag colors relating to the politicals, the decisions, choices. You know, yeah, that's a good topic. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Hiduino, and thank you everyone for coming to Submersion. It's been a amazing talking to you all, and I hope everyone has a great evening. And next week I'll be here at the same time, giving another topic, and hope everyone shows up. So take care.